Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, wow, it's been a while since we've done this.
It's been a long time.
Candid conversations, and today we're going to talk about things that you should be doing for your website in the off season. Today is what, December 23rd?
I think so.
23rd, December 23rd. It's the end of the year. So we're going to talk about things that you should be doing for your website and for your business. And then we're going to go right into the trends that we saw in the past happening that we don't see anymore, and what we are going to predict trends are going to be into the future. So stay tuned. Well, wow, it's been a while, and we took a break from the podcast. We took a break from the channel because of the busyness of editing.
Yeah.
There was just too much editing going on and too much other things going on with life and family and everything else like that. It takes me too long to edit the clips, so why sit on them for the while? I already did 4 in August,
right? And
now December, and I just posted the last one. I finally got to the editing part of that. So it's been a while. We used to have a little bucket in front of us, which I still have with all those things inside of it. We talk about it. We'll have to do that in January.
Yeah, that's
about to do that in January. Yep. So it's the end of the year. It's December 23rd. I just finished my last wedding yesterday. I did a small courthouse town hall wedding yesterday. Last minute, she called me up on Friday. She needed a photographer for Monday, and just finished that up. So that part is done. I've got one more family session in the studio on Saturday, the 27th.
They don't want to stand outside?
No. I got an older lady with a walker, so we decided we're going to come inside. So the end of the season is here, and the end of the year is here. What are a few things that you normally do other than we were just talking about resting?
Yeah.
We need to rest. We've got a vacation coming up in January, but what are some of the things that you normally would do in an off season for the business?
Clean my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the cameras are constantly going.
Yeah.
Normally before a shoot, I clean my lenses anyways, not to the degree that I'm going to do this winter or over the downtime, if there is any downtime. I do a thorough camera, sensor, lenses, kind of maybe inventory my stuff, see if I need to buy anything, which hopefully not. Usually I don't. And just start setting stuff up for the following.
So gear is the first thing you start to do and look at.
Just to get me away from the computer, because like I just told you, I'm still editing.
Your high school senior games that you just did.
Games, I had that thing for the Hallmark, all that stuff. I just want to get my eyes off the computer. Yeah. So I'll do the gear stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How about for me, when it's busy season for us, I can't keep up with my website as much as I would like to. Social media is already a hard enough thing to kind of stay on top of that. So sometimes my website goes 3-4 months without me touching it, which is kind of okay, but I also want to keep updating my website with new pictures that I've done and change out the old kind of thing. So I think for me, I like to go and start looking at my website. I already revamped it 1.5 years ago with Book Focal. So I already revamped it, and everything's where it needs to be. I just want to go in there now and just start changing some of the images, taking some out, putting some in, and just moving some of the older pictures to the bottom and putting some of the newer pictures in the portfolio at the top, make sure all my links are still working and things like that. So very important, because sometimes you never know if that tab is not functioning.
You get a broken link or
I even tested on my wife's computer, because sometimes in my computer, it's loaded in your cache memory, so it's automatically going there. I tested on my wife's computer and just go through all the tabs from a different point of view, and then I check it on her mobile to make sure all the tabs are working and things like that.
Make sure your Google link works for reviews. And I only say that because something screwed up, and people couldn't leave a review, and I was about ready to put my foot through the monitor. Thank God I didn't. I had to buy a new monitor. But I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it was on Google's end. So
I noticed that something changed with Google, because my review page changed. The link didn't change, because the link still stayed the same, and it brought me there. It wouldn't bring me to the actual reviews it brought me to, I have to go to, it brings me to the Google page, and then the person has to go up and click on read reviews and then leave review. Before, originally had it sent to going to my reviews because I wanted people to read them.
Okay.
And then leave one, or leave one and then read one.
This was to leave one. So a bride reached out to me, said, I'm trying to leave you a review, and the link, something like she would leave it, hit enter, and it would disappear. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, that's frustrating.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So talk about like,
yeah,
not a happy camper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It finally went through, but it took, she was persistent.
Thankfully persistent and not annoyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was getting annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, I was ready to smash stuff, but.
I found lately that I've had a lot of patient people with, information wise, because I have 17 hats. So, and I have, when a bride reaches out to me, I have automatic replies back in there. So as soon as they reach out to me and they fill out my questionnaire, another email goes back to them saying, thank you for filling out that questionnaire. We're going over your pricing. We're going to be sending packages back to you. Meanwhile, let me introduce myself. Here is a link to my About page on my website. Now, if they already went to my website, they probably already read it.
Right.
But what are some of the other things I've noticed? Do you have FAQs? FAQs. FAQs.
Frequently asked questions.
I don't have that on my website.
I mean, I feel those are kind of canned. I mean, they're kind of good, but usually, like when I go on stuff like that, it's always, they don't have the answer I'm looking for. So if you have any questions, I'd rather have them come to me directly, where I can answer that directly. Because some of it's good.
Like are a very generic, general.
Very general.
What's your pricing? Well, you've already reached out to me for that.
Right.
So you don't need an FAQ for that.
Right.
So I've been debating on adding 1 or 2 FAQs onto my website just to help people search, because apparently FAQs has a lot to do and helps with SEO. Okay. I don't know how true that is, but from a small business like you and I, it's like, I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to make sure that my SEO is up to date with all of my information. And I don't want to miss anything. And sometimes I have to add a state to my SEO because certain things are not linked in that way. So blog posts. Do you do any blog posts?
Yeah.
Do you?
I honestly, like with all the stuff that I'm doing, I save that for the winter.
Yeah. Great point.
Because like I'm into like a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like a blog post will go on your website, a link to your website, and it'll be there and it'll stay there. I don't really feel like a bride's going to be, ooh, he hasn't updated his blog post in a year and a half.
Right.
To me, that's not a red flag.
Right.
When a bride comes to the website and they're looking at it, they're looking for relevant information pertaining to them. If a blog post wasn't put up, because I don't do many blog posts, the software that I use helps me create blog posts.
Okay.
So that part's been good about it. So I try and dabble with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's about it. As far as, is there anything else you do off-season wise to prepare your website or your business?
I constantly social media. That's as annoying as that is. You got to do it. And unfortunately, like people contact me through Messenger. Through Facebook, through Instagram, through email. So you have to check all of those, and you just have to do it. And I always tell people they're happy with me because I answer them quickly. And I tell them the only time I can't answer you is when I'm playing hockey on hockey rink, right? I skate quite a bit. I just try to get stuff in order. Check out I'm going to probably redesign a logo just to freshen things up a little bit. Nothing nutty.
Because your logo is your name.
It's like my first and middle name, And I have to buy more clothing. Sorry about this. I got one sweatshirt in Puerto Rico. I left it there by mistake. And the other one I tore on a senior shoot. It got caught on a bush or whatever and ripped.
So other than that, that's what you do in the office.
That and that's pretty much it.
Good.
A couple shows.
Got
to do a couple shows.
So I want to transition into trends and things like that. But the first thing is, there's a few things that you and I have been noticing in the industry on the social media part. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. You had, from 2024, you had a great year in 2024 and 2025. We're wrapping up now. You had another good year on top of that. So we both had good years when it comes to that. So what I'm finding is, I feel like the best people to talk about trends are people that are in the trend.
Right.
Okay. We've noticed a lot of trends happening now. Some of the trends back 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't see happening now in 2025 is things like the chicken dance. Back in the day, and I know why people are now doing that, and I know why they did it then and why they're not doing it now. YMCA. You don't hear that very often. That's very rare that you hear YMCA.
Until a movie star does it in their wedding.
Great point. Great point. So same thing with trends with the chicken dance. What I've noticed is I just had somebody playing the chicken dance maybe 2 months ago. And I had to stop and say, I looked at the DJ and I was like, what are you doing? He goes, they requested it.
Okay.
So.
Was it an older crowd though?
Thank you. I looked around the room and it was all 60-year-olds on the dance floor having a good time. The dance floor was packed. Everything was great about it. I'm noticing like YMCA, chicken dance, songs like that, choreographed, you know what I mean by that? Happen when it's an older crowd.
Right.
Because the moms and dads, their daughter's getting married. Their son is getting married. So now the parents want those songs that they used to play at their weddings from 30 years ago.
Right.
So that's where I'm noticing those trends are starting to happen. I don't foresee chicken dance and YMCA going into 2026 and beyond, unless it's going to be like a very rare situation. Even the song Electric Slide. Nobody really plays that anymore. Macarena. Nobody really plays that anymore. Those choreographed songs I'm noticing are not happening very much in 25.
Almost like a line dance type thing, you know?
And that hasn't happened much in 25, and I don't expect it to be happening any further in there. And before we started this conversation, we talked about receiving line. So I want to address that because you just got approached the other day about adding the receiving line to their timeline. Give me the pros and cons to having a receiving line.
The pros,
from a professional photographer's point of view.
I don't really see any pro in it, to be honest. I mean,
well, the pro is.
I'll get photographs for the bride and groom. They get to see everybody that showed up
as they're walking by. Congratulations.
As a photographer's point of view, I could take it or leave it. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't photograph every person coming through that line.
No, you can't.
If there's 150 people there, you can't photograph every person.
Imagine if I did that wedding with over 400 people.
What you just told me a little while ago is you told the bride, sure, if that's what you want to do, you're going to have to add an hour to that receiving line for 150 people to come walking out of that church. And then you're going to go back in and still do your pictures inside of there afterwards.
Because you have people traveling from all over the place. At least this particular couple. And so if you haven't seen somebody in 5, 10, 15 years.
2 years even.
Are you just going to go by and just shake their hand and move along? No, you're not. You're going to sit there. And
how are you? How's the kids? Oh my God, it's so great to see you.
Now multiply that times.
Multiply 5-minute conversation. Even if it's a 2-minute conversation. Times 150 people, and everybody means well, but it's very time consuming when it comes to that. So just looking at the timeline wise, if Tony was here, you'd be looking at a 2 o'clock ceremony at the church, and then 3 o'clock you're done. 2:45 you're done. So 3 o'clock you start that receiving line.
You'll be done. You'll start at 7.
You'll be done at 4. Right. Then you got to go back into the church to do your 45 minutes of formal pictures with the parents and the grandparents and inside the church. So receiving lines add to the timeline. So that is a trend I would like to see go away.
And honestly, for the most part, at least in my experience, it has.
I feel like it has. I agree.
You get the exceptions. You know, same with the garter toss and, you know. the second couple we met.
Great
with that
point.
day,
You just mentioned the garter belt.
Yeah, they want to do it. So okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
Here's what I don't like about the garter belt. Everybody means well. I get that. What I don't like about the garter belt is, there's no age restriction.
I know.
Okay, so what bothers me is, I was like, oh, what's the big deal? Let the 14-year-olds come out. It's when the 14-year-old is agile and runs up and catches it. Oh my God, my niece just caught it. That's awesome. And then the 55-year-old guy caught the garter.
Yeah.
Now, tradition-wise, you're supposed to put that garter on that, and that dad walked up and said, that's not happening.
100%.
No way would you be putting your hands on my daughter at 14 years old. This is where the age restriction should be 18 above. Well, how do you restrict people from doing that? It should be single. It's unless you catch it, he catches it, and that's it. Stand next to her for a picture, but no putting that.
No, like weird stuff going on.
And I've had so many of these in the past where, when, alcohol's involved, people start to laugh and dance, and all of a sudden, and then the DJ's like, well, hey, the higher up you go, the more luck that they have. Come on. You just met that person. You don't need your hand that way up her thigh. You don't need to do that. That's a trend that I feel like.
Good way to get beat up.
And it really is when the girl's husband is sitting over there.
Yeah, like that's a hospital visit. Like,
and I've seen people get mad at stuff like that. And
that's where that's going to go.
Yeah, I want to. That is a trend I hope goes away. I really hope it goes away. You mean well, I get it.
And we don't do many of those.
You know what I've noticed though? The bouquet, they pretend they're going to throw it,
and then they hand it off to.
Like the grandmother or
yes,
the oldest person in the room.
Yeah.
Or the oldest couple that's been married when they do an anniversary dance and stuff like that.
That's
Give
cool.
them the flowers and stuff like that.
Because that way they're not like. It's usually pretty nice.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. You're not ruining it by like.
Correct. And I get they're fun things, and you're getting the crowd involved and stuff like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. There's a fine line between
Find something else to do.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. All right. So I'm noticing a lot more people are doing first looks. And formals before the ceremony.
Yes, I encourage that. Too.
I am absolutely in favor of that. It takes the pressure off of, you do have to start earlier, which means you do eat into your 8-hour package earlier. I get that. But for the sake of pressure and time and anxiety and energy and things like that, I feel like it goes a little bit smoother.
That, like say you do it later and you're behind.
Yep.
Now you have that to do.
Yep.
So this almost smooths things out.
Agreed.
Where you can be a little behind later down the road.
Yeah, agreed. Get it done ahead of time. Yeah. It takes the anxiety of it out. It takes the anxiousness out of it. And if you whatever you don't get in the beginning, like, oh, we didn't get Aunt Susie and my Uncle Bob, we can always get them during the cocktail hour. Yeah. So now I'm noticing a lot of brides and wedding couples now are wanting to the cocktail hour. They want to be part of their friends and family.
You know what I tell them?
I encourage it.
You paid all this money for the venue, and they pay some of them a lot of money. Go enjoy the cocktail hour.
Yep, I'm definitely noticing that also. I'm noticing a trend about 5 years ago was it wasn't the film camera, it was the film look through digital cameras.
The nostalgic.
Yeah, and that's exactly the word that I have written down here.
Yeah, well, see, if you shot Nikon, you'd know that.
Yeah, the film look. I don't. The film look, but it was done in a digital camera. Yeah. So it's a filter they add afterwards with noise and things like that.
Like Fujifilm has, it kind of started with like the Fujifilm stuff. My Nikon ZF, the older retro looking, they just added like film recipes, much like the Fuji.
Yeah.
Like, would I use that in a wedding? No.
No. What I'm noticing now is people are transitioning back to the film camera.
Yeah, they are.
So it's not a digital aspect of film replica-ish, if I can say it that way. They look great, but I'm noticing in this year, and I feel like that's going to go into the future years that we have ahead of us, there is going to start be a transition between, a blend between some film and some digital. I'm noticing that a lot more people are gravitating to that. So when you go to these posts on social media, hey, we're looking for a film
I've seen that a few times,
And I've noticed that, and I don't do that.
No,
I don't do that. I don't even put film looks in my cameras. No. I'm true to color. You're true to color.
I shoot raw. And that's what
so in that aspect, I'm noticing a lot more people are starting to look for that. And there's people that you and I both know, and I recommend them saying, hey, contact this person.
But the price is going to go up because
they don't care. If you're looking for a nostalgic part of that.
A certain look. Yeah.
Correct. If you're looking for that nostalgic film, retro-ish style, that tells me you've got money that's going to be able to accommodate that.
I hope so.
Yep, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. It's not me and it's not you.
Right.
And that's, we were talking about, everybody has a budget, everybody has a style. If you don't like our style, somebody else will. You and I don't do the muted greens. You and I don't do light and airy. You and I don't do the brown hues and the sepia look.
It's funny, my Fujifilm, you can link it to a printer, like it's a little Instamax printer, and it prints out these like little Polaroids.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, but like it's kind of weird. It's an old, it's 2013 it came out, so.
Yep. I'm noticing.
But look at what's on the tables on a lot of these weddings, right? The little Instamatic cameras.
That was the words that was just coming out of my mouth. And I like that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
The problem that I have with that is 5 years ago wasn't Instamatic, Polaroid looking cameras with, it was the point and shoot cameras, the yellow box, the yellow Kodak boxes.
Yeah.
My niece had a wedding. We were there doing everything like that. She had, cameras on everyone at the table.
Yeah.
The DJ made an announcement. Hey, we encourage everybody to take pictures of your tables, have fun with it. She ended up spending to develop all of the film on all of the things over $600.
Holy smokes.
And she got maybe 10 or 15 pictures that were good. There's an added expense to doing that, and there's no ROI on the end of that you're going to get great pictures.
Yeah.
I've seen some pictures, and I've heard some weddings that I've done and I've heard other people do where they would literally going into the bathrooms. And they're taking stupid pictures of things in the toilet and the mirror and the walls, and they're just going click, click, wine, click.
It's a waste of money.
And they're like half drunk. So they're like, hey, look, and they're being funny, but they literally just wasted a whole roll of film for that bride and groom to develop to get.
They don't know what's on there.
To get nothing.
You can't review that stuff.
To get nothing.
Like on our cameras, we can review it and say delete garbage. You know what I mean?
And it wasted all of that time.
That's
so
crazy,
those, at least with even the Insta ones, you can take a picture of nothing and it spits out, nothing.
Yeah.
You, as a wedding couple, you just need to be
cross-conscious.
Because people will be funny and they'll think it's funny to open up somebody's pants or up somebody's skirt, and they think it's funny and it's hilarious, and it ends up being a black picture and there's nothing on it.
Right.
So be aware of that. And I feel like that's a trend that I love the Instamatics. I think it's a fun,
I like the
trendy thing. I agree. I think it's a fun, trendy thing to do. Take a picture of it, print it up, and then put it in a guest book.
So what you're saying is use it responsibly.
Yeah, responsibly. All right. I'm noticing a lot more photo booths this year.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot more the 360 photo booths.
But you're not going to like what I say on Trends of 2026.
What's that?
I say they're going out.
You think so?
That's what it said. Because I researched some of this stuff. A lot of sites are saying photo booths are on there. But I don't see that. I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing that. And we're in Western Massachusetts, so maybe this is someplace else kind of thing like that. We know so many people in this area that do excellent photo booths.
Yeah.
I
don't see it going on.
I hope it doesn't. What are some of the trends that you saw in the past? And then we'll talk about, do you see that going into the future? What are some of your trends that you've noticed?
In the past, well, we have millennials and Gen Zs, right, coming. So a lot of the millennials are like, 95, or I could be getting the year wrong. But anyways, more Gen Zs are going to start getting married soon. You ever see a Gen Zer with a magazine? Nope. There's not many. When was the last magazine you bought? You got to think about it.
That's a great topic.
Right?
I want to talk about that.
Right?
Go on.
So I've seen people get magazines at these bridal shows and they throw them in the garbage on the way out. Because everybody's got their cell phone. That's what people are looking at. Their cell phone, that's what they're getting their information. Nobody's flipping through nobody's buying magazines. Right? So I feel those are fading out as far as and to gather information or something along those lines. You have YouTube, you got your phone, you got the whole encyclopedia in your phone, right? You got ChatGPT.
Literally.
You have the AI, you can ask whatever at,
Yeah.
right? So I just feel like if you're doing magazines, in my opinion, you're wasting your money.
All right, let's address that. 10 years ago, we both been married for 35 years.
Yeah.
When we got married, I know my wife bought magazines, cut pages out, put it into her scrapbook about what she wanted for her wedding. She wanted the color of her dresses that she was going to do. And all of these magazines would be out on the table and putting this stuff inside of there. I agree with you. I feel like those magazines are on the tail end.
I used to buy Hot Rod magazine,
Great
Soldier
point.
of Fortune,
Great
all
point.
that stuff, right?
Not just, I'm talking about wedding industry. You're talking about just
I'm
gun
talking
magazines,
magazines
just
in
magazines in general. I feel like even the regular newspaper is almost like not
it's all
existent.
online.
Nobody, my friend used to deliver newspapers, and I used to get mad at him all the time. Yeah, and because he's got to leave and go deliver his papers in the afternoon. It's like, we're in the middle of going over our bike jumps. What are you talking about? But yeah, you don't even get that anymore. So let's talk about a magazine from a professional vendor's point of view. Back in the day, 15 years ago, you would try and do your weddings with the intent of getting published.
Right.
Remember that back then? It's like, oh, maybe Vanity Fair, maybe The Knot, or maybe the wedding book. So pick this up and you can get featured inside of the thing. Those I don't even see happening anymore. No. I don't even feel like it would make you a credible photographer if you were in a magazine of some sort. It may give you credibility on one level, but my brides here in Western Massachusetts ain't going to hire me because I was published in a magazine.
They don't really care.
They go to your website. They go to your reviews. We talked about this before. The reviews are gold. When you have 105 reviews on there and they're all 5-star about how excellent Bill was and everything else like that, that bride's that's searching you, they're going to be like, oh, okay,
you think people buy reviews?
Ooh, can you?
Yep. You see these nonsense reviews, like, they're full of, I won't say the word, but.
I did not know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
You look on a lot of these, I
know you can buy subscribers, and I know you can buy followers. I did not know that there was a thing about buying reviews.
Anybody can give a review. Anybody can give you a review. You know what I mean? So if you see a review and it's 8 paragraphs long.
Great point.
Like, who does that?
Yep.
Nobody does that. Let's be real. Come on.
I'll have a bride's like, beautiful experience. I've delivered. Oh my God, everything was so good. And then you go to say, hey, can you do a review? And then you send the review and stuff like that. And all of a sudden they're like, Ron was great.
Yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is,
you couldn't have said a little bit more than that.
But the thing is, I would rather have, listen to my theory on that. I would rather have something like that mixed with other lengthier or shorter. So basically you have a bunch of combination of reviews.
Yeah.
Then the same reviews. So it looks like they're coached reviews. Like, so if you had 10, we'll just say 10 reviews and they were all roughly the same.
Yep, good point.
You know what I mean?
Good point. So I don't feel like magazine, being in a magazine is going to make or break you as far as I don't feel like people are trying to get published nowadays.
And nobody reads that stuff.
Maybe that, and it could be like, I could be saying that, or somebody could be saying, well, you're just saying that because you've never been published.
I have, and that hasn't got me anything. Like, and the thing is, like,
what gets us hired is being at the bridal shows.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't need to be in a magazine
100%.
to do that.
Yep.
That's why I feel like, for me, where we are in Western Massachusetts and the level that we are at, I don't feel like it's going to be like, oh my God, that would make my career.
If we were in New York City, maybe.
Great point.
If we were
California,
in Boston, maybe.
Great point. Bigger cities, that might give you a little bit more notoriety almost.
Notoriety.
And you might be seen by a little bit more of the higher end clients that are looking for that.
Right.
So I get that.
But here in Western Mass, no.
Nah. All right. Black and white style. I shoot everything in color, and then I'll take a certain percentage, like 10 or 15 images, where I change those ones into black and white so they get the color version and the black and white version. I feel like there's a elegance about black and white that not every image should be black and white.
No,
and you and I have talked about this. Some images look better on metal than they do on canvas.
Yeah.
There's a different shine and sheen to it. So another style I want to talk to you about, or a trend that I feel like I never got involved with is blurry photos.
Okay, we'll go down that
all
road
right.
because I have a lot to say on
nice.
that.
Be
I will,
nice
I'll
because
be nice.
I feel like it's Go ahead, Bill.
All right. Blurry photos. I shoot a lot of sports, right? So, and I shoot auto racing as well. So when I do the panning, what looks better? A car with a clear body on the car and the wheels have that motion. That looks cool, right? Or when I photograph the car and the whole entire car is a blurry mess, right? So I think if you do the blurry photo thing, if you do it in an artistic way, it could have a look to it.
Yeah.
If you just do it, it's going to look like garbage.
Okay.
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan. The only way I'm a fan of it, there's a way to do it with off-camera flash, or actually even on-camera flash. Where
I do it. I do shutter drag on the dance floor.
Not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a shutter drag, but not with lights.
Okay.
I'm talking about shutter drag with a person and people walking. Meaning the shutter
so
goes
you have
up.
somebody stationary?
Correct.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you see a little bit of that blur as they were walking from here, but you can still tell the image because the shutter went off and the flash went off and it lit them still, but the motion trailed to that.
But within the motion trail, you have a subject that is like...
That to me
like that.
is a selective blurry image.
Yeah, I like that.
What the trend is though, that's not what the trend is.
The trend is the bride and groom walking down the stairs and you don't even...
And it's completely blurry. Yeah, exactly. That's the part that the vendor table even talked about this too. And they never got on it. I never got on it. I get it. And what he said was, you can't do that for every image.
No.
You can't do that for every image.
How many reviews have we seen that where the bride and groom are dissatisfied with their photos?
Yeah.
They said blurry photos,
yeah.
blurry.
Now, blurry,
but meaning out of focus.
Out of focus. Yeah. That is different where your person is not tack sharp.
Yeah.
That, I've had people hire me because their other photographer did their engagement session and the images were, she called it blurry and not sharp. But what it was it just wasn't sharp.
Misfocused.
It was just misfocused on something where it focused on the ear and not the eye. So that is a soft image is one thing. Now, when you get a sharp image, a lot of imperfections on people's faces are a lot more. If somebody has that 5 o'clock shadow and you've got a tack sharp image, you're going to see that scruff and you're going to see that.
Not everybody's pretty like that.
Correct. Exactly. Not everybody. So I never got involved with that. I never got on that trend. I feel like every once in a while, I want to talk about the slow shutter drag thing you were talking about. Every once in a while, if a bride and groom are running, here's an example. You and I just did a wedding a couple of weeks ago. And that little girl from the other side of the room ran straight across.
Yeah.
So that was like, because my shutter was above 1/250th, and I tell all my people that second shoot for me, never let your shutter go below 1/200th of a second because I don't want motion. I do not want motion.
But you know what? The speed she was running, that wouldn't even help.
When you do it, and I feel like you are really good at what you do, there's a skill behind that. And there's a timing behind that. And there's a motion behind that. I love when you do second shoot for me because I'll get a couple of those images inside of there. But it's maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 of those images. You'll probably take like 30 of them, but like 8, 9 of them are like exactly what you're looking for with the trail being this way. Some of them just look blurry.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's an intentional thing, but there's only a couple of images that you would do with that. And I feel like that's the balance where if you're going to do the blurry style, do it every once in a while. Don't do it for every image. I feel like it's going to pigeonhole you into, there's nothing wrong with showing motion.
Yeah.
When 2 people are walking, when 2 people are running. But I feel like if that's going to be, they're standing still and you're purposely making it blurry.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a difference between if somebody is running and they're moving really fast, like a bride is running like this and looking back at her fiance, and they're physically running. That's one thing. That is running and they're blurry.
Right.
When the person is standing right there and they're looking right at you and you purposely go like this to make it blurry, that's what I'm not a fan. Yeah, that's not what I'm a fan of.
I did see one the other day. They were bride and groom walking down long steps and it had some kind of cool like lighting.
Yeah.
And the whole photo was kind of like that. It looked okay.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
I also have noticed I'm not meeting, I don't know if this is a trend or not. The younger couples that I'm starting to book are now booking me through text, and they'll barely do a phone call. I'm not getting anybody that wants to do Zoom, and I'm not having anybody coming into the studio and meeting me in person. Last week, you had 2 people you met in person. I'm finding that very odd because these are like 28-year-olds, and nobody wants to meet in person anymore.
You know why? Why do you think that is? How do they talk to their friends?
That is a great point.
Through text.
What you and I do, I want a connection between my wedding couple and myself. I need to physically see them. I need to see, if I've had one guy that was like 6'9" and his bride was like 4'2". I need to see that before the wedding day. So that I'm prepared for this.
That's why the engagement shoot is a necessity.
Great point. I'm finding a lot of people have been backing out of engagement shoots.
Okay.
You know why? Oh, my friend did our engagement pictures. So we don't need engagement pictures. Can you take that out of the package? And does the price change?
No.
It doesn't.
Complimentary.
Yeah. I'm finding a lot of people are not meeting in person and they're foregoing the engagement session because I feel like they want no interaction with people.
But they're going to be with you all day.
And they're going to be in front of 150 people. So that tells me they're doing it because they want the wedding. And I'm not saying they're doing it for the money. I'm just saying that is really the intent of it. Well, if we're going to have a wedding, we have to be in front of people.
Yeah.
So I'm finding lately a lot of my wedding couples have not wanted to meet in person. And I'm noticing also that they're foregoing the engagement session because their friend did it for them.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good move.
I don't think it is either. I explained to them that we need to have, I need to talk to you.
Because the last thing you want on your wedding day is some goofball like me or you. And like there's no, for the first time, and then they're going to be people around them and they're going to feel uncomfortable. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. So what better way to break the ice?
I hope that is a trend that changes. I really wish people would take the time you should be meeting with every one of your vendors. You should be having either a phone call, Zoom call. How are you going to go? You're not buying a dress online.
Right.
More than likely, if it doesn't fit, you're sending it back. So you have to go in and try that dress on.
And you're going to avoid a high percentage of scams.
Great point. Great point.
Let's
talk about that. Let's bring that up right now.
You don't meet your vendor.
Social media.
I've seen a lot of this year.
Is so crazy right now with all of these stories on social media saying, "Oh my God, I haven't spoken to my photographer in 4 months and my wedding is next week. They haven't responded to they're not responding to my text, they're not responding to my email. I don't know what to do. If they haven't replied back to me the 17 times I reached out to them, what makes me think they're going to show up on the wedding day? What do I do?" I feel like everybody's going to social media nowadays.
They are.
I've noticed in the past 3 months, my photographer did this, my DJ did this, and it's in a concerning way. I don't feel like it's in a complaining way. I feel like they're looking for help. They're really just looking for help, and I get that.
But then they're getting like 500 answers and
500 different answers too. Oh, my photographer did this. Oh, my photographer did that, and they never showed up for this, and I would get somebody else. And 1 week before your wedding, you really need to figure out another way.
Hey, and it's October. Good luck.
And that's good
luck.
And you and I talked about this before. Well, they should have went to their social media and checked them, or they should have went to their reviews.
Don't research after the fact.
Thank you.
Don't research after the fact.
You should not be researching your vendors after you sign the contract.
After you had the bad experience,
you should be researching before you sign.
Do it before.
Research before you sign. Meet with your people. You should be meeting with your DJ in person. You should be meeting with your photographer in person. You should be meeting with your vendor and your venue in person. You should be going to look at your dresses in person. You should be going to look at your flowers in person. You should be you're going to go look at that cake. You want to taste that cake. Well, got to go to that place to taste that cake before you go in to do that.
Do you buy a car without looking at it?
Do you buy a car without test driving it?
That too, you know. Some cars you can't test.
I understand. I don't know if it's a millennial thing, a Gen Z thing. I don't know what.
You're setting yourself up for failure, though.
I don't know what it is, but these people don't want to meet in person. No. I don't understand it. I'm old school. You're old school. Yeah. I like a handshake. I want to talk to the person. I want to meet the person that I'm going to be photographing. And if you don't want to, then I might not be the right person for you.
Right.
I mean, if you still hire me and you pay me the money, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
But I would prefer, even if it's just, you already had your.
Why don't we do family photos? Why don't we do some kind of photos so there's a camera in front of you?
Do you know what I do? You don't want to do the engagement session? I understand that. It doesn't change the price. Tell you what, I at least want a coffee with you before your wedding. 1 month before your wedding, let's just grab a coffee so we can go over the final itinerary. Final itinerary every day. Let's just grab a coffee. Yeah. Just so you see me and I see you. I think we know
that's kind of,
All right.
Meet with your vendors. Yeah. Bottom line.
I'm noticing 25 and moving forward, hybrid shooting. I started incorporating video clips in my business. I have the Osmo Pocket 3. I have it on my camera. I've got it on a stand.
Take it out in the rain yet?
Not yet.
Can't.
Sometimes my intention is to do behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For myself.
Right.
Or sometimes it's for the intent of setting it up, photographing like my champagne spray. I like to show what I'm photographing and record that. Then I make a little 13-second clip
like
out
a little
of the
reel or something. Yeah.
And it just add a little bit of music to it. I haven't been charging anybody for do it because I want to try and get better at it. Because as I'm taking pictures, I'm not thinking of movement and video.
I do it with my I have that X5, that 360. Yep. I do it. I'm not great.
You're going to see more of that. People requesting that in 26.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that's what they're going to be doing. So that's what I feel like. Paparazzi flash.
Oh, that's the on-camera flash. That's
pointing forward.
The new trend. I take it.
It was in 25. Nobody's requested it.
No.
I absolutely avoid direct flash at all costs.
I don't care.
I feel like I get people like the paparazzi because of the shadow behind it, and I get that, but I feel like it makes the person too hot and too hot spots bright for my liking. I would rather bounce a light and blend. But that's me and my style. If somebody asked me to do it, I would probably do it like a couple of images and be done with it.
We can do it.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that.
I don't care for it.
No. All right. Any other, how about, I think we've dealt with enough in the past.
25.
Yeah. What are some of the trends that you feel like are going to continue or you would like to see
everybody's saying the vivid colors are coming back.
I heard that.
Which is cool because that's kind of what I do.
I feel like the sepia is out. That was a trend that I was never a fan of anyways.
I don't like it.
I feel like people are now starting to gravitate to true to color. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're starting to do less filters. Mm-hmm. And I feel as a trend wise, I feel like that is what's going to be happening in the future.
Yeah, they were saying
down the road.
The vivid colors. Believe it or not, they were saying black and white might be out. I hope not. I don't think it will, and I'm going to tell you why. That's been around classic.
That is the difference, Bill. You are absolutely right. There's a difference between light and airy, green hues and brown hues, and black and white. Yeah. Black and white is classic.
I took some in a pub at this wedding.
There's a classic part about that. I love the black and white. I'll shoot everything color and I said this before, pick a couple of images to make black and white. There's another couple of people that I know, one for sure, that only shoots black and white.
Yeah, he's wearing a mask.
Yep, only shoots black and white.
The trouble with black and white, like say if you take a photo and they're standing behind a lot of foliage.
Great point.
Sometimes they blend in with the foliage, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, and somebody that only does black and white knows that. So somebody that is specifically looking for that they'll be perfectly fine with hiring that person that does that. I do not specialize
There's
in that.
certain cameras that just do black and white too.
And that's perfectly fine. That's not my thing. I don't know if that's going to be a trend in the beginning and in the future where people are going to start shoot everything and love your style, Ron. We want everything in black and white. Because I feel like, could that, like tomorrow, if I started shooting sepia, and my wedding couples were like, well, that's not what I hired you for. You know, I feel like that can come and bite you in the butt.
It can.
When you only shoot black and white, you only show black and white, why would you give anything else other than black and white?
Right.
Same thing with soft, light and airy.
Yeah.
You go to our websites, we are not soft and airy. We are not sepia tones. So
if my thing is soft and airy, that means I overexposed it.
That's a great point. There's no definition in it. Yeah.
And the way I shoot. I mean, the trends, like, look, honestly, I'm not a huge trend guy. Like,
no,
I could care less. Because regardless of what the trend is, we still have to shoot it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's a Pantone color or green or, it doesn't matter to me, right? Because it doesn't matter because we still have to shoot it. You know, there is a trend coming where the bridal party, they're not wearing the same outfits now. Like, more on the bride's side. They're going to be red, blue, green. Like, they're not going to be the same color. I did see that too.
I haven't noticed that.
I haven't noticed it, but they say it's coming. So I don't know.
I've noticed some of the wedding party on the bride's side, some were wearing dresses and some were wearing suits. I have noticed that. I have noticed that. I have noticed that. So I haven't noticed different colors. If there's ever been a different color, it's like two colors that they're very similar. Like a champagne and a burgundy.
It's kind of like close.
And every other bridesmaid has a different color. That's to the extent that I've seen different colors.
They say, and then they said more candid photos, no more pose. They're coming too. And it's funny that I did read that because a lot of couples have been, hey, can you do more candids? Like, the pose is cool, but we don't really care. I'm like, okay.
I've noticed that also. Why do you think that is? I know what I think it is, but what do you?
They don't know how to stand.
I think they feel awkward, and they would rather be. Sometimes candid ones are more awkward.
They can be.
They can be. Oh, I don't want to pay attention to the camera. Well, if you're like, if you're constantly doing this, there's no good candid pictures of you hands.
They're candid, all right, but they're not the candid you want.
Yeah. So I have noticed that a lot of my brides lately have been asking for just as many.
Less posed.
Yeah, less posed and just as many candid photos. And when I have a second shooter, I'm doing all of the posed pictures, and my second shooter is doing more of the candid off to the left, off to the right, with the cocktail hour. That's all candid stuff like that.
Because it is cool, like in cocktail hour, you got somebody breaking out and laughing because they heard a funny joke.
Exactly. There's a time and a place for that. I tell my brides that I can do 50-50. I need you to look at the camera. I need you to look at the camera and smile. I need you to look at your husband and smile. I need you to put your foreheads together and slow your breathing down or relax between you. Hold her like you like her. I like that too. Then look at me. When you guys are walking to each other or walking away from me or to me, you're looking at each other.
Right.
That's candid, even though you're walking towards me. So there's a fine line between all of that. I have noticed that people have been asking for the more candid photos.
It's kind of, I found that this year. I don't know. I think that's going to be a trend going forward.
I can foresee that.
Once again, the Gen Z type culture, I think they're more tuned into their phone, and they're, I don't want to say more private, but they're not out in front of a lot of people. So I don't know, maybe it's an awkward thing. I don't know.
I feel like the phones on weddings days have just, a lot of these people are more concerned.
They piss me off, Ron.
They're so much more concerned about getting that story for their Instagram or doing their TikTok. And so you just paid $5,000 for a professional photographer to stand in front of you, and you're still leaning towards your camera in your hand so that you can get a selfie at arm's length, put a filter on it, and now you've got a picture for your story. If you like, let's talk about content creators. I feel like this is going to be a trend moving forward where a lot of people are now going to start wanting to have a content creator
that way,
at that wedding so that they can get those little clippy things for them to give to them so they can go and make their stories afterwards.
What about when the content creator brings a full frame mirrorless camera?
I don't feel like that is content creation. That's not a content. That's a videographer.
Yeah, I feel like
full frame.
But they're taking still photos. I feel like that we're going to have a conversation out back, like type thing. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen, and it's in my contract. Don't show up like that.
There is a difference between a videographer and a content creator.
Yes, 100%.
And a content creator should stay in the lane of on a gimbal with a cell phone, Osmo Pocket 3, 360, whatever those little things like that. With the on a gimbal that way. You should not be rocking the Ronin, 35 axis, full DSLR with interchangeable things for your content creation. That's a videographer.
The problem with
that's overkill.
That we're kind of seeing is the content creator has this middle lane and they venture into the right lane, they venture into the left lane, and they cover videography, and they cover photography. And that's where the issue is happening. So now they're giving the bride and groom photos, or video, when you already got those people doing that job.
Yeah. I have not had any of the content creators.
Not me personally. I haven't
come to any of the weddings with the intent of, they've all come with gimbals, and they've all come with their cell phones.
Right.
To do that, and I get it. I feel like that's the right way to do it.
And quite honestly, these cell phones, 4K 60,
they're good.
Or they can shoot and log video that you color grade. So they're crazy good.
Even if they're not doing it to the extent of that, and you're just doing it for the sake of taking 10 to 15 second video clips for your TikTok and for your Instagram. You deliver it 48 hours later, 24 hours later, and they get it. Now they can have their social media stuff while the professional photographer takes 3 weeks to edit their images. I get that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
Get that.
Yeah.
If they start charging $2,000, I feel like you will start to see a decline in that because they're not going to pay a professional photographer $5,000 and a content creator $2,000.
And a video person.
I don't see why you would have a content creator and a video person at the same time.
No.
Why would you do that?
Not if they're doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody in their right mind is going to spend that kind of money.
No, but what it is everybody nowadays wants quick. Quick.
Content creator.
Right. So you're going to have these little, clips.
Yeah.
Where the guy on the video, it's going to take them a while to, do their thing.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get that instant gratification of seeing, so they're going to get these little clips.
And to my knowledge, I do see content creation starting to pick up in 2026 and 2027. Unfortunately, here in Massachusetts, Western Mass, I don't know one person out here that is doing it.
No, it's all like Connecticut.
It's correct. It is Central Mass that people are doing that. I don't know why. I had one person ask me if they already had a photographer, they wanted me to come and do content creation for them for their wedding. I ended up it was too close to another wedding that I was doing. And I had to drive 2 hours the night before. So it didn't fit my time frame. But they only wanted me for content creation.
Honestly, I don't know if I'd be good enough.
I don't
know because
I agree.
I haven't done it enough.
Agreed.
I do it for myself.
Yep. Agreed.
But man, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to. And that's another thing. Like, don't step out of don't say you're going to do something and you do X, Y, and Z and you've never done it or you've done it once. Yeah. Because you're going to wreck somebody's day.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a very, very important piece of information. Or you be upfront
with them, say, look, I don't do this, but if you want me to do it, just don't expect
too much.
Like I always say, you're not going to buy a Corvette at base model Honda Civic price. So for that, I'd be the base model Honda Civic. Yeah. And
all right. Any other trends you want to talk about? Any other things that you foresee coming up to 26, 27?
People taking not forever to book, but they're trying to book you a month out. It seemed like that happened quite a bit too.
Last minute people.
Last minute. Hey, I'm getting married in 2 months.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get married, October?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I have.
Good luck.
3 for 2027 already.
Yeah,
And I have 1 for 2028.
I don't have any for 28.
Yeah, I have 1 for 2028. Anything else?
26, no. I mean, there's a lot, but.
Yeah. I think that was enough for today.
I got to keep this a PG channel.
2026, 2025 is now done and gone in the next couple of days. We talked about everything on the channel about things that we do in the off season, which is rest and relax and get, come back up, get, updated on our website, get updated on our social medias and things like that.
Play a lot of hockey.
Play a lot of hockey. Things like that. Vacation in the off season as much as we can because we can't go on vacations during the year because of weddings and things like that. So talk about a lot of trends also, trends that we saw 5 and 10, 15 years ago that we don't want to see in 2026 and we don't foresee coming up in 2026. And a lot of trends that we would like to see coming up in 2026. So other than that, anything else from you?
I didn't bring up Taylor Swift, even though I just did.
I heard her wedding's going to be at the Breakers in Rhode Island.
Look, everybody got excited for these Taylor Swift. It kind of died down a little.
Yeah. Anyways, so that'll be another video. We'll have to address that. So, all right. So leave your comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. This is Candid Conversations with 2 professional photographers who just see a lot of stuff in the industry, good, bad, and otherwise. And we're just trying to be, on top of the cusp of what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is saying. So leave your comments down below and remember to smile more because it sure does hurt less. Peace.